Hi guys, it's M Seeker of Truth, and I'm here today with Kirsten W. Hello, Kirsten.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, happy to have you on. Yeah, really, I've seen you in videos before, but I didn't know much about you. But recently, I'd heard that you'd shared one of my videos with David Snedeker, and that it went from there really. And I saw that you'd contacted me, and yeah, that's how we got in contact. So I'm happy to speak to you. There's a few things that you'd seen what I was doing, and you
Yes.
had appreciation for some of the concerns that I was sharing, and that's what I want to kind of focus on today. But people know my views around these concerns, but you wanted to kind of give your take on a few things and why you were concerned. So first of all, that video was 30 reasons.
Yes,
That's right.
correct. I think I
Um,
got you a lot of views, like 14,000.
I don't know when you first said about it. I mean, like, when I did it, it took off really quickly. I think I've got 100,000 views
Wow.
across all platforms, which is massive for me because I'm quite a small YouTube channel. But people really took notice, and I think that's important because I
Yeah,
think it is.
the girl that books Charlie's show said that they're formulating a lawsuit against you. So I
Yeah,
don't know
so I
how
hear.
you formulate a lawsuit for free speech on a platform, but the more bogus stuff.
Well, yeah, more bogus stuff. Not only that, pretty much everything, and everything in 30 Reasons was literally me showing things that he had said and
Right.
expressing concerns around them. I'd not made any sort of accusations or anything liable. And the thing is, he's also said that I'm all sorts, from a police officer, a disgraced police officer, to MI5 to MI6 to going to send the boys round your house now. Going to have a lawyer come around your house, and yeah, day by day, it's evolving, and it's more baloney. Is what I could say. I think it's damage control. Um, but I'm not out to attack people or anything like that. And it wasn't like that. It is literally, as 30 Reasons was, as many people have said, it was just have a look at these things yourself. And I am worried that people are being misled, and for financial gain. And guys, have a look at it and see what you think. And it got a big reception. A lot of people took notice and saw the amount of research that went into that, and all of these things that were researched. Anyone could have found them themselves. It was just that I managed to compile them together into a neat package. So um
Well, if you want me to say what I know, I quit doing a show about 7 months ago because towards the end, I brought Ann Vandersteel, who was my former friend, who turned out to be a pretentious opportunist, like a lot of them. And
yeah.
she went behind my back, and I fired Mel K, whose name I even created, Mel K, Melody Creole. I created Mel K. She did videos for me for 6 months. I mean, I've really well, I really don't have much against Mel because she's just very naive, and she's a good little digger. Unfortunately, she did not show up for 3 shows in a row. I'm just going to state the facts like you are.
Okay.
She didn't
Yeah,
show up for
absolutely.
3 shows in a row. I created her. She took all my contacts, Roseanne Barr, Ann Vandersteel, Charlie Ward. And when I quit doing Charlie's show, and I have to say, I mean, I'm from a British colony. Yes, while I'm wearing my Scott McKay Patriots Street Fried t-shirt, I'm from a
See that.
British colony. So I appreciate the British. You're British, obviously. And, Charlie and I had a good rapport. In fact, I even um, fought for him because I'm a fighter, and protected him against Santa surfing when she went after him on whom I call Satan surfing, when she
Yeah.
went after him on Twitter because she's another one. Okay.
Mhm.
Nasera, 35 videos on Nasera, then did a 180-degree turn, but she never mentioned the bad Nasera that everyone knows, the counterfeit Nasera that was brought in by the Bushes. The Stabilization Act. She only knows the Security Act, so she was only telling half the story. And so when I
That's right.
confronted her over the phone, she hung up on me. She's been attacking G&D Codes and I for years. She's attacked my friend Tori Tori says, who's real intel, and she gives all the intel to Millie Weaver, who is also a friend. Okay, so she's attacked not just me, she's attacked many people. But I protected him against her. I'm loyal. But it got to the point, and I am the one that coined Charlie's Angels, because I'm an interior designer by trade. I'm an artsy person, so I'm kind of creative. So I'm the one that coined Charlie's Angels, and I'm the one that brought him Charlie's Angels. And I know he didn't want it to end, but Anne, being the opportunist that I supported for 6 years, while she went after my friend Laura Loomer and did nasty videos on her, calling her Rhino, when Laura and I worked at Fox Radio together, Anne Vandersteel and Laura worked at Veritas for James O'Keefe together. So Anne did a lot of underhand stuff while I supported her for 7 years. Very loyal, doing videos against Mega Coalition, who she was partners with. She seems to be attracted to the nefarious, so she always now her manager, who pretended like she didn't know my ex-boyfriend's company was such and such a name, and Anne got $8,000 to promote Ink Social, but she never did anything because Anne pretends to have the pull that she does, and she does not. She uses my friend Scott McKay to do that last Tulsa rally where he brought half the people that bought the tickets there. She has no pull. I've always had 4 times more people than she has, and I've given her a lot of my subscribers. She's very professional, but I'm real. I have attention deficit. I have dyslexia. I have obsessive compulsive disorder, which makes me very abrupt and abrasive, and a lot of people don't like me, but I'm very short and I'm short-winded, so I cut to the truth very quickly. So getting back to Charlie, I like Charlie as a person. He's sweet to me. He's British. He used to live in Singapore. He used to go to a lot of bars that I know that the Caucasians used to go to, and we used to joke about them, Orchard Towers, all this stuff. And I brought him the girls, and it was great, stroking his ego. But it got to the point where he's doing all this misinformation. I mean, I don't really know how many shows he's done, if even 1 or 2 of the predictions have come true. Okay, and I get this all the time. You have Charlie on your intro. Yeah, I do. And basically, he said the most recent ones were 4 months ago. He said that the Supreme Court had met, and they hadn't met. That was told to me by other people. He also said that the emergency broadcast system would go into effect at 12 midnight. Never happened. He also used my intel when I was on the show with Scott, my really good friend. I love Scott. Okay, 3 people that I support: Scott McKay, also David Nino Rodriguez, who's on my show on Sunday, and also Michael Jaco. They work hard. They're good people. I don't think they're in it to win it, because they already won it pretty much. But they're also being used by that vehicle, which is misinformation. So after the ends of the shows, and I'm very blunt, so this is what I said to Charlie, and you can ask him in an email. I said, listen, I don't feel comfortable doing shows every Friday. Anne's already gone doing her own thing. She only comes on when she wants, some numbers, obviously. And, I don't feel comfortable because you don't vet your information. It's like you have your window cleaner, your toilet cleaner, and your maid on the show. And he's actually had his maid on the show. So really, who does 6 shows a day? Come on, give me a break. Let's have a reality check. If I don't have intel, which I do have from 5 sources, I don't do a show. How's that? I don't do a show. Okay, that's it.
I mean, who has time to do 6 shows a day and run the new QFS system, as well as apparently he's now head of the QFS system, and it makes no sense to me, as well as his claims that he's done 10,000 hours of research. I think we'd worked out since the time he started doing videos, if that was true, he'd have had like 4 hours sleep and not stopped researching and not had time to do the videos that he's done. So there is many claims, as you said, that did not come true, and there's lots of simple things out there, like that we on our show yesterday showed the Nazara shop, and selling JFK concept dollars for £80 for $1 million. and you can find them from eBay for $1.89. So we bought some, just to prove, that is that's a scam for want of a better word. So yes,
Okay,
there is lots.
I need to say something. Okay, we have to be able to separate before I get all the trolls attacking me, because whenever I say something about them, I always get attacked. I'm a liar. I'm hurting other truthers. Number one, I'm a truther. They're not a truther. You can't call them a truther if they're not telling the truth.
Absolutely.
Get it? True. Number two, I like Charlie as a person. He's polite, unlike that other person from that I'm not going to mention his name, from a 3-letter agency that threatened, told me to get my head out of my ass because I sent him your video, and he said you're doing it for numbers and you only had 500. I'm like, I gave him a piece of my mind, as you know, and I said, you're a stranger. How do you talk to people like that? You're like very rude, and you're like an animal. It's disgusting. And they told me to F off. I mean, that's just uncouth and uncivilized. At least Charlie is classy, and he keeps it classy. But, you have to keep it that way to keep on pumping that misinformation. So for my conscience, I stopped doing it because I felt this heavy load. Like, he's sucking me dry. And the last thing that he said, which really irked me, was he took from Scott and my show where I had my Taiwanese intels cleaning up China. He said, oh, yeah, and the Taiwanese have cleaned up China and the CCP is clear. That's incorrect, because why would the Chinese ships and the Chinese Air Force be, hovering over Taiwan if the Taiwan is in control? I mean, that is just wrong information. Do you have to stroke your ego constantly to get affirmation when all your information wrong? And to those millions of people out there, many of them in Africa, where he had his Nasara site, he's got all those people from Africa that are following him, which is fine, but they're not exactly from the Five Eye countries: Australia, New Zealand, Canada, United States, and England, right? They're not. They're from Africa. So I mean, let's just have a reality check. Who has more high intel clientele or subscribers? If I wanted the numbers, I would have stayed on the show. I would have stayed on. I just couldn't take it anymore. I was drained.
And that's why I wanted to speak to you, actually, because you mentioned earlier you were part, or you even created the Charlie's Angels term. And to see someone with a notable following as yourself standing up for what could be the truth, in your eyes from watching that, there are, it's full of facts on the 30 reasons, but to actually stand up and say, hey guys, can we just look at this and talk about it, please? That, and when you were in, you were so kind of close to Charlie, being Charlie's Angels and being on his show quite a lot, that said something to me. So when you contacted me, I thought, this would be really worth an interview to see what you got to say about it all. So, I thank you for standing up for the truth.
I'm happy to do your show because I feel that those 30 reasons are valid and they're factual. And, I'm not doing it for the numbers. In fact, I'm sure I'm going to get constant attacks after they see this because, if I did not get fired from a show, I can show you the email where I told him I'm not going to do your show anymore. Okay, so don't try to say that I am sour grapes, that I got fired because I quit. How's that?
Yeah, you quit. Okay. Good on you.
There's a difference.
Good on you. So yeah, no, I appreciate what you did there, and I appreciate what you're doing. You did mention a few others who are your friends. You got Scott McKay, David Nino, and Michael Jaco. And you said that they're kind of a part of this vehicle. Do you think that there is any possibility that these guys could be being slightly misled by this circle of?
No, I mean, let's just be honest. I know that if you want big numbers, you would have Charlie Ward. What is that other guy? That other British guy? What's his name?
Simon Parks.
Simon Parks, or the three-letter agency person on your show. I mean, that's what you do if you want the big numbers, or the, you know, the other person, 107. Okay. I haven't had, you know, any of them on my show. I've been on his show. Obviously, because the numbers aren't important to me. And now I stopped doing the intel, which gets everyone thinking, and I'm only doing it on back channels, like on my Rumble, on my Brighteon, on my BitChute. I'm not even doing the intel that I'm known for. I'm just doing the mainstream news, because my manager says if you want to stay alive on YouTube, you just have to do the mainstream news, and that's it. So, you know, and I managed to find, you know, truth to put out from the mainstream news, which, because they're, you know, like I said, they're having a lot of, the cabal has, you know, 4 things, now it's 5 that they're pushing simultaneously because they're going down. We have the defund the police, which is linked to the gun grab, shootings every day, since sometimes 2-3 times a day since Biden's taken thing. And you know, that's the clowns in action, the cocaine importing agency. Then you have the illegal surge, which we've seen everything. Then you have the economic crash, which they're trying to crash the economy. My stocks have been down for weeks. And then the last but not least, they have the passports. I don't even know if I can say that word, but you know, whatever. Vax. You might have to edit that out.
Yeah. Remove the video just because of those 2 words. You do have to be careful what you say on YouTube, and people do get taken down. I think there is a problem, though, that you know, there's a lot of things going around saying, you know, anyone that's left on YouTube, you know, they are not the truth. I heard Charlie say in an interview with Mel K, David Nino, and Simon Parks, anyone that's not being attacked, you know, they're not the truth.
I had 127,000 subscribers, 2 channels gone, evaporated, terminated, and they would give me strikes all the time. And then once I started being good and not mentioning any of the words that they didn't want me to say, what they did was they terminated 2 channels simultaneously, and they said, because I've had a lot of complaints. That's very vague, you know, that's very vague that they would say that I've had a lot of complaints. But, you know, I'm just trying to keep it real. Fortunately, I have a real job, an interior designer, and I am comfortable. Many say I have a silver spoon in my mouth. My dad was the chairman of the Singapore Stock Exchange and CDL hotel chain, and my mom was an attorney for the land and title. So, and my mom and dad met in England, and they got married, and she was going to Cambridge, and he's working for Shell Oil. So I have an affinity to England, which I know is pretty much destroyed as a no-fly zone, because they imported all those refugees from all those Middle Eastern countries. Let's put it that way. We can't say the M word. Okay, so there we go.
I saw that bit about your background. Actually, I didn't do too much research, but yeah, I had a little look, and I saw that you had that sort of you know, well-to-do family background, let's say, and you've also done many things. A designer, author. You were an actress at one point. Is that right?
Yeah, I did the Doors movie for Oliver Stone and other big movies, which I told Oliver he needs to do another movie on Snowden, which shows him as a CIA traitor, but he's contemplating that. But basically, yeah, I was a model, and then I went on, because for an Asian girl, I'm tall, I'm 5'8". You know, there's not that many. And so it's helpful to be from a British colony, because, you know, I'm probably part Irish or British or something. That's why I'm really tall, which helps, you know. But, you know, I like to keep it real. I have no time for BS, and I'm very abrasive and abrupt. That's just me. Boom, that's me. And it's like what Roseanne Barr, she calls me the fire in the pot. So the magic sauce. When the fire's gone and everyone is calm, Charlie's calm, Mel's calm, Anne is very calm and cool and collected. I'm the fire. The show's not that interesting anymore when the source of the, you know, fire's gone, I guess.
Okay, so they're a lot worse off without you, is what you're saying.
I don't think they're worse off. I just don't think it's that interesting. I mean, you got to have the hot and cold. You can't just have the cold and the cold. I mean, I give Mel K, unfortunately, is towards the end. She got real, towards the end of doing my show, she got real neurotic. And her boyfriend was in every scene. She had to shoo him away. He couldn't leave her alone. She didn't show up for 3 shows. And she started circling the drain, which means towards the end of the show, she would start repeating herself over and over again. And I said, this is not a show where you're trying to brainwash people. You just need to say it once. And we need to cut the show now because you're starting to circle. And then I told her not to call me again. She was calling me in the middle of the night. I had my friend Addie Ad staying here, was the protege of George Webb, and he answered one of the 4 calls, and I had to block her because she was incessantly calling me because she's neurotic. Hello, that's all I have to say. And she's not. She's naive. And everyone's like, oh, she worked for Trump. No, she worked for Mar-a-Lago. It's just the same if you work at the front desk as if you're, let's say, an air stewardess, or you worked at the Playboy Club. Okay. And I have a lot of girlfriends that are playmates, if you know me really well, playmates of the year. So, you know, I'm not bashing them, but you know, that is not someone that's intimate with Trump. That's an employee at his hotel. That is, she's a guy. So let's get the facts straight. What I like about you is you're very factual. So, you know, let's just keep it real and let's just keep to the facts. And you're not making anything up. You're just repeating what they say. Like, you know, he said, I talked to Q in the beginning, and she laughed, and she believed him because, that is a group of 10. You cannot talk to a group of 10 when, you know, that is a group. And I also, Newsweek tried to frame me because they and brought Right Wing Watch into our shows, because Ann and I used to do a show, and after stalking her the whole time, they started stalking me. And basically, they tried to get Newsweek to contact me to do an interview. And of course, I'm not going to let Newsweek, whose covers are picked by Zarid Zakaria, whatever his name is, the CNN guy, does global warming, which we know is weather warfare. It's you know, they have all the weapons that were seized on the Ever Given ship that now they're trying to do their climate conference, which is a bunch of crap. It's weather warfare. They're screwing with our weather. They've been doing it since 1940. Have a reality check what they're trying to do, okay? And so now they can't do a good job because all their weather weapons, a lot of them have been seized, but we have the CIA, the NSA, and not NSA. The NSA is good. The CIA, NASA, was created with the CIA, and the CIA created CNN, so they call it CNN syndrome. And you have the Department of Defense all working together doing that weather warfare. So let's have some truth out there so everyone knows what's going on.
Yeah. So interesting. So one of the things you just said there was around being factual, and you said about the whole beginning of 30 Reasons, and you've got Charlie saying, I was on the phone to Q and he loves my work. And you know, I don't know if you know, later on after he was questioned on this, after 30 Reasons came out, he said, no, it wasn't Q. No, it was the QFS Q, a different Q. So, you know, how people could not think that he was trying to mislead people by that earlier statement, I do not know. And misleading people is, you know, misleading people and profiting from it is kind of the big base of what I've started to try and look into, which is people that I believe are grifting, is what I say, online. So people that are charging others under the pretense that you're going to get some special information, insiders, club intel, etc. And there's a lot of people I believe are doing this out there. And all I'm trying to do is really show facts of where this information is incorrect or where there's lack of information. I'm also trying to highlight where people are repeatedly almost making people feel bad. What's the word? Like, you know, almost not blackmailing them, but making them feel bad for not giving them donations. So this is where there's a bit of a grey area, and I wonder, and I asked you earlier whether some of your friends might be slightly misled, or whether they fit in that grey area. For me, I'm a bit dubious of a few of your friends. I'll be totally honest with you. You know, the repeated asking for money and having no intel, or having or giving intel, which is not. Well, I'm not just saying about. I just mentioned that because there was a couple of your friends that I think that may have been doing that, but there is many people out there doing this, and this is why I wanted to ask this question.
Well, I'm the closest to Scott, so I talk to Scott almost every day. He's a really good friend. He does have intel, and if he doesn't have intel, I give my intel to him. So
Okay.
yes, there's intel. He doesn't need to ask for money. He's got like 300,000 to 500,000 just people from YouTube alone, and he's known worldwide. Basically, you know, I think he's doing a really good job. I don't know the others as well, but
Yeah.
I do believe that, you know, they have certain people like Charlie on their show so they can get the higher numbers. And what I don't understand is this: if you go and watch someone's channel and they've been wrong repeatedly, numerous times, you know, 9 times out of 10, maybe 10 times out of 10, why are you still watching the show? Are you brainwashed? Are you a sheep? What's wrong with you? Okay.
Why are you making these excuses?
You would protect that person
Yeah.
because you watch someone across the screen. You've never really had any contact with them, you know, in person. You've never seen them. That's a lot of the Satan surfing, Santa surfing people. Satan and Santa are the same letters if you move them around, okay?
Anagram.
They attack me because she's got a sweet voice and I'm nasty and abrupt. They don't like my voice. They're like, we hate her voice. Excuse me, but you need to look at the intel. She giving you anything? I mean, give me a break. I mean, these people are brainwashed. There's millions of them, and they don't have any discernment, which is from the Holy Spirit. I'm a Christian. I'm Seventh-day Adventist, second generation. The Holy Spirit gives you a gift. Number 1 is faith, to trust God. Number 2 is discernment. Do you have any discernment? Do you have to ask me what I'm thinking? Plus, what I'm thinking might not be what you're thinking. If you have your discernment, because we're not Siamese twins and we're not joined at the hip. So we don't all have to agree. Snap out of it. Are you in a trance? What's wrong with you? Millions of people, they go back. It's like a woman that's been abused that's going back for more abuse. When you go and it's misinformation over and over again, and you're still going back because you can't stop. I had a girlfriend. She goes back and watches Charlie's show. She quit watching him because he was wrong so many times. Then she went back again. And I said, "What's wrong with you?" She's from Singapore, and she's like, I can't stop.
It's almost like a drug addiction, isn't it? Like I need a bit more of a hit. Like we called it hopium amongst some of my circles of friends. You know, like hopium is like, you know, like opium. I just need another hit of that promises of information, which, like, you know, sounds like a reality that I want to be happening. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I will give them what I think, which is a little bit of hopium, but I have an opinion, which means that if I have a guest on, I'm not going to agree with all my guests like he agrees with all his guests. I have an opinion. If it's contrary, like with Patrick Byrne, when he said that he works for his rabbi is Warren Buffett. I'm like, that guy is corrupt and evil. He donates to Bill Gates. I mean, why would you brag about that? And then I'm like, okay, Scott, you're going to have him on your show, but you know what I think about him? I've had him on my show, and he flirted with me in Chinese the whole time. I mean, what kind of interview is that? It's like a little crazy. I mean, these people are nuts. I'm getting burnt out just dealing with them. I mean, I prefer, no comments. But unfortunately, I need the comments there on one of the channels because I need to know what's going on and, whatever. And I sell products. So if I don't ask for donations. So if you want to buy the products, you buy. If you don't, you don't. That's the end. Okay.
Mhm.
It doesn't really matter if you do or not. I think that, I know that Nino Rodriguez has the same manager's eye. So we sell the same product. So I don't think he's hurting financially either. Scott is
This is what
okay
makes me
too.
wonder with David. So since you've brought him up, sorry. I mean, I hear that he's not hurting financially. He sells his products, but he does repeatedly ask for to donate to his Cash App, and he'll say, look, guys, if you want some more intel, this is good intel. Hit my Cash App below, and it's quite constant. But then I hear that his net worth was, I think, it was a large amount. I won't quote what it was, because just in case I get it wrong. But that he had money. So, and he's saying things like, even 1 cent will help me out. So that's what makes me wonder about him, and it feels like
Well,
maybe he's being misled by because it seems like what he's saying is coming from 107 or Charlie, or and he's relaying that information, and so yeah, for me that felt a bit griftery.
Well,
I'll be honest with you.
I'll be honest. I've never really watched any of his shows. I've just
Okay.
seen him when he's been on Scott's show. So I've
Mm.
never really. I don't have time to watch videos. I'm
No.
doing research. I don't have time
Yeah,
for
sure.
that. So if he's asking, I mean, I guess that's his prerogative to
Mm.
ask. But I don't. Okay,
Yeah,
I don't.
that's good. So that question I was going to ask you actually was, if you could sum it up, so I've kind of summed up what I think, is grifting. I think there's a lot of personalities out there doing it. Like you said, there's a lot of people who are almost kind of brainwashed, or just keep going back, and you can't understand why, what's in the psychology of doing that. And there's a lot of people that just don't want to hear it, will attack you just for opening your mouth.
Correct.
But some of these people, they do listen after a while, and I've seen it, that you see it in my comments. People then go, you know what, thank you for keeping on this, because I didn't
Mhm.
want to hear anything from you at first. I called you a troll and a shill before I even watched your video. Now I've watched it and I take it all back. People do wake up, but there are some that really won't. They are staunch. They're really, I mean, indoctrinated by this circle, is what I would say. So what I was going to ask so sorry, for us, having voices in this digital world, I think it is really important that we have these conversations like we're having now. That we talk about things openly, and that we do question things when we see them. And I don't think that it's hate, and I don't think it is a negative thing, us doing that, because what I'm really doing is, some people see it as negative, but really, is it negative if we are finding truths, about some of these people, that
Okay.
they have lied to you and they've made money off lying to you? That's
Okay.
not fair, especially when people get so hooked on listening to them and then can't continue to pay them, and it could be spreading misinformation for their own gain. And that is what I couldn't be a part of. And I think that we're doing a social, or a social service, like to people. It's like almost like something that I feel that I need to do. So I wanted to ask you, if you could neatly sum it up. What sets you aside from others, that you've already said you don't take donations. So what makes you
Yes.
not a grifter?
I don't ask for donations.
Mm,
They
yeah,
give me donations. I'm not going to say, excuse me, but I'm
and
not
that's
going to take
fine.
it.
I,
I mean, if I had to rely on the donations, I'd
mhm.
go broke. How's that? I would
Yeah,
be
yeah,
starving.
yeah.
And I haven't, as you can tell, I haven't missed a meal. Okay, so basically, let's
Sure.
close it up. You
Yeah.
cannot call someone a truther again when they are giving you misinformation, and when most of the predictions are incorrect and they
Hmm.
never happen. Okay, have a reality check, please. Number two, I've been doing this for over 4 years, and I've
Hmm.
been attacked so many times because they don't like my personality. It's not personal. It's whether you giving the correct information or you're not. Okay, so don't make it personal. I know you don't like my voice. You don't like my attitude. I'm not submissive. I don't have a sweet voice. I'm sorry. I am on camera, and I've been called every single name: bitch, whore, slut, tranny and I don't have a penis. Sorry, but you know, you know, every
Sure.
name in the book, you know, and the C word that I can't even say that word. This see you
Yeah.
next Tuesday word. I mean, all this abuse, and I'm trying to give you guys some truth.
Mm.
I
I get
am
it
a
too. Yeah. I mean, I get it too. I get, I much prefer listening to that they will say, to Charlie Ward, he's got this personality and this, and Jesus loves you. And you come on the camera and you are being negative about this, that, and the other. I'm sorry, I don't vibe with you. I
yeah.
vibe with him. So I'll continue to listen to him. But hang on, where's your parameters of truth there? So if I'm being factual, but I'm very boring and you don't like my personality, but the other guy, is all singing, all dancing, all bells, and is talking to you and giving you rainbows and sunshine, and whether or not it's a rainy day outside, they're telling you it's sunshiny. The sun is shining.
Okay,
Where
so
do you kind of draw the line and say, hang on, I know I like listening to that bloke, but he's leading me, he's misleading me, and this other guy, I might not like to listen to him, but I should probably listen to him because what he's saying, I can fact check, you know. So
okay.
how important is the truth to you? Do you want to be
I mean,
entertained
yeah,
or would
you
you like
have
the
to
truth?
figure out how important the truth is. Obviously, to many people, the truth is not that important because Charlie Ward calls himself a Christian. He never has any Christians on his show. I think I'm one of the few, and I'm not the demure Christian that's going to let you, rub your shoes, clean your shoes on me. No.
Mm,
He has a lot of new agers on your show. And if you're a real Christian, you know that you cannot mix the Christian with the new age. It's a whole different animal. You can't mix the Bible
absolutely.
with the new age. The earth is only a little over 6,000 years old. It's not millions of years old. I know my Bible. I'm Seventh-day Adventist like Dr. Ben Carson, and we study years of Bible. So really, you're either new age or you're Christian. You can't mix the both. He's mixed the both for a very long time. And again, I like him as a person. He's like a dad that is
Mm.
going to give you a nice warm hug. He's sweet, unlike the one from the three-letter agency who is
Yeah,
very abrasive.
three
But
initial guy from the 3-letter agency. Yeah.
but yes, you don't need to have an opinion, and you can't agree with all of your guests. And yes, I'd love to have a warm huggy all the
Mm,
time. Maybe that's what they're going to him for emotional need, but really, it's not helping the truth come out because if you don't have any intel, you shouldn't pretend like you do
mm,
because you were wrong way back about that that Hallett person that you brought on, which thank goodness I came way after that. I told him, I said, it really didn't stay on your show long enough to get
mm,
the 150,000 subscribers that you
mm,
gave over to Satan surfing before she turned on you,
mm.
but I can't take it no more. I'm
Yeah.
done.
I
Okay.
mean, I don't know if you know, I did a lot of work around the fake king scenario, and I found out all sorts. So I don't know if you're aware of that, but yeah, for anyone that's watching this, when anyone's watching it from Kirsten's show as well, if you want to know more about that story, I have very many videos. I find myself, people say that I'm obsessive. If I get my teeth into something and I know that people are being harmed by it, I won't let it go. And that's what happened with the Greg Hallett thing. Until he disappeared into obscurity, I found out that he was in a cult that was closed down because of the rife paedophilia that was there. I found out that he was lying about his ancestry, and I went back through his ancestry. I found out so much. So I've got lots of videos there. So guys, if you don't know about my work on that, or you're still, God forbid, believing that this man is the rightful king of England, the world, and has a title Christ, please go back through my videos and you'll see that he was
Well,
misleading you.
Charlie admits that he was in a cult, so I mean,
Yeah.
that's him being real. I mean, again,
Same cult as Aleister Crowley.
I have nothing against Charlie Ward. I just think the information is garbage. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're here to give everyone a warm huggy, then you should do the New Age shows. You shouldn't do the Intel shows because you're not
Don't
good
tell
at
people
it.
you're in charge of the new financial system and their debts are all going to be cleared. That is a dangerous statement to make.
Oh
And
my
now,
gosh.
You know,
I have people that listen to Santa Surfing not to pay off their mortgage, and there were houses being seized. I mean, come on, have a reality check. Donald Trump would never tell you not to pay your bills. I mean, come on.
yeah.
I mean, this. Okay, if you have a low common sense quotient, it's easy to brainwash you. So you either pray to God and ask for common sense and discernment, or you're going to be lost. So really stop being a sheep. Start learning how to be a leader and discerning stuff. I do appreciate your work. I mean, I watched your video. It's respectable. I don't see anything wrong. And yeah, the truth is the truth. And guess what? The truth always comes out. And it might not come out in the sweetest way. And the truth cuts like a knife, a double-edged knife, because all the lies and all the crap just gets eroded off. So in the end, the truth is going to come out. Okay.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I mean, no one's 100%. I will say I've never been 100%. I was wrong on the blackout dates. I did say I was guessing though, but you know, I've been wrong. So no one's 100%. I mean, and no one's perfect, but come on, you can't be wrong like 90 to 100% of the time and still have people just falling all over themselves. It's just
it's
crazy.
the assertiveness of it as well, isn't it? It's the I have been told by a high up source that on this date it's going to happen. Like you say, you know, you have backed perhaps dates before, but you said I'm guessing, or you know, I have a feeling, or this, you know, this will happen. But if you say, you know, someone from the inside has told me on the 5th of January, you know, we're going to have major media blackouts, and people, you know, and these are real stories. People calling their family saying, "Guys, we're not going to be in contact after the 5th.
Right.
Honestly, trust me." They're like, "No. Look, who are you listening to with this? No, seriously, I know a guy with inside information." And they've had relationship issues. They've felt embarrassed. You know, they've you know, had fallouts with family over these sort of things. It's dangerous telling people these sort of things, and again, how you know, who would trust someone like that with this information and just disseminate this information through social platforms? It does make sense for the very basics.
Over and over again, wrong. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just feel sorry for those people that are like so loyal to him and many others that
Anyone
are
that's doing this,
wrong.
yeah, absolutely.
It's pathetic. Yeah.
Well, I've really appreciated and really enjoyed actually this talk. So yeah, thank you for contacting me, Kirsten. And
yeah, you're welcome. I'm glad I left a comment because you know, I think you're a good digger. You might be like Mel K, she's a good digger, okay? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I appreciate your words. Yeah, and hopefully we can keep in contact.
Yes, I'll always tell the truth because that's against my nature to, you know, I don't need my ego stroked. I guess that's why they're doing it when they make these predictions like, you know, he's coming back on April the 1st, he's going to be there. I mean, it's like that date has way passed. I mean, if you really know military intel, they never say a date because it could go either way. You never know what's going to happen.
No,
so, you know, you should never give a date, but that's stroking your own ego.
Yeah, let's not forget the mental march that was meant to happen. I don't recall much mental happening in March, but we were told mental march was happening. So yeah, no, I appreciate your time. I think we'll leave it there for now. And
Thank
yeah,
you so much. Thank you. I
guys,
appreciate
I'll
it.
leave. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll leave all of Kirsten's links in my description, and I hope you've enjoyed the show. Thank you very much.